Hey, what's up you guys? So today I decided that this is going to be the first of many different videos, and I'm really excited for this because I finally feel like I found my niche and what I want to focus on YouTube, and I really hope that you guys resonate with this and you enjoy this, and I really I'm just setting out the intention that the right person finds this at the right time, that they're ready to receive this. So I just want to take a moment to set this intention and thank the universe and just pray that I know that whoever needs this message is going to find it. Whoever is ready to receive this is going to find this and get exactly what they need from this. Thank you. So I have a notebook and a full five full pages of my journey to RBA. Now, RBA is Rich Babe Academy, for those who don't know, and it is run through Catherine Zakina, and she is also a Manifestation Babe on YouTube, on Instagram, not YouTube. Maybe she's on YouTube, I'm not sure, but she also has a podcast, Manifestation Babe, as well. And she is so insightful. I feel like she's become one of my mentors, and she doesn't really know that yet. Maybe she does because she is in the program. She is running the program, but she is really such a genuine soul, and I found so much inspiration from her, and just courage and just overall bliss from being around her energy, and really just such a great vibe. So I want to thank her first and foremost for putting herself out into this world and doing the work on herself in order for me to be where I am today, because I truly believe that she is such a huge part of my journey, and I'm so excited for the next 6 weeks with her. We are in the middle of the first week of RBA, and I am vlogging my experience from time to time. Just a quick background of RBA. It's a 6-week program. The modules are roughly an hour or so long, and then there's a hypnosis that goes with it, hypnosis meditation, and some different recordings. And I am really, I guess you can say, a believer now. Not that I didn't believe before, but I have so much trust in this program after just the first module of her kind of doing this regression hypnotherapy that had truly changed my outlook and my perspective on life on such a subconscious level, and it's just so empowering and so rewarding. So thank you Catherine. Thank you universe for putting her in my way, because I wouldn't have found her otherwise, because this was 100% divine intervention and divine timing. So thank you so much for everything. I want to give you guys a background of my journey to finding RBA, because again, I don't think that any of this was by coincidence. I think that all of this happens through the universe and divine timing, and everything happens the way it's supposed to. So all of this compiled just really made me feel so good once I looked back on it, and I really hope that this can inspire someone out there. So if you see me look down at my notebook from time to time, I'm just trying to remind myself of where I'm at in my story. My story starts off with kind of a pivotal moment in my life where I was approached by my boyfriend's mother, and to make a very long story short, we had a discussion on my current job situation, and because of Corona, I didn't have a job at the time, and I was unemployed for a few months at that moment, and she kind of put her beliefs onto me and just asked me, why I'm not looking for another job, and so on and so forth. So long story short, I felt a bit, I guess you can say, let me back up a little bit. I just want to read to you what I wrote, because I think that this will make a little bit more sense. So I wasn't getting much out of my life after Corona started, and I was laid off of work, and eventually I just quit because I was sick of doing something that I felt like wasn't aligned for me. I knew I wanted more out of life, and I could feel that. I just didn't know what that was yet. So I decided to throw everything I could into YouTube, but I wasn't really giving it 100% because, again, I felt like my videos weren't aligned with what I wanted to put out into the world. Now, I was unemployed from March until June. At the end of May, I began to become monetized on YouTube, but I wasn't making much money. Now, to put this into perspective, I still haven't gotten any paycheck from YouTube. You have to have a minimum of $100 in order to receive your first paycheck from YouTube, and I still haven't gotten close to that. I'm around $10 right now. Now, you might look at this channel and say, why do you keep doing it? It's not worth it. It's not worth your time. But I knew that I was destined for something bigger, something more meaningful. And I know that that's why my content wasn't getting the views and the recognition that I felt like it should get, because I wasn't actually putting out what I wanted to in this world. I was still getting unemployment, and I was getting by with life. You know, I was able to pay rent and I was able to buy food, but I wasn't really able to do much else. I wasn't able to save money. I was just able to get by. But my boyfriend's mom felt like it wasn't the best for me, so she had a conversation with me, and I know that the conversation came from a good place, but the way that I received it directly as a hit to my ego. The conversation was about me not having a job, and without me going into too much detail, she made a few comments that made me feel extremely self-conscious about my financial situation. I reacted from a place of ego, and I decided I would go back to my old job that I absolutely hated, because it was something that I can prove that I was able to do. I was able to easily get a job. I wanted to prove that no matter what I wanted to do, I could always get a job. I didn't have to worry. And that was coming from a place of ego, because this job wasn't aligned with me. I started back at that job June 8th, 2020, and I immediately knew that I made the wrong decision. I just said to myself, you know, you're doing this for a few months, you need to make some money, you need to have some extra money. You can't keep putting your boyfriend in a situation where he needs to pay for everything. So as I said before, I was able to financially pay for things, financially support my life, but I didn't have anything extra. I was able to pay for rent, and I was able to pay for a little bit of food, but that was it. There was no other extras that I was able to do, and I felt like that was not only limiting me, but limiting my boyfriend as well. And I realized throughout this journey that the thing that I don't like doing at all is affecting people that I love financially. So I didn't want to be a burden financially to him. So I said, I need to get a job. I'm going to go ahead and save some money up, and then I'm going to be able to eventually do the things that I want to do. June 30th was a very, very significant day for me. Now, I woke up in the morning, and to make a very long story short, I was getting ready for work. I was going onto my scooter to go to work, and I realized that my scooter was stolen. And I had it in front of my house. It was behind a locked gate, but my neighbor, from what I understand, from what I thought, my neighbor left the gate open. And she obviously didn't mean to do it, but I took this so bad. I lost my mind, and the only thing that I could think of was, how can I afford this? How can I afford this? This is something that is affecting me so negatively financially, and something that I'm trying to change is my financial situation. So I was so caught up in this idea of, I'm never going to be able to afford this. I can't believe that I just lost so much money. This was by far the highest price item that I ever got stolen. So I was so affected by the money aspect of it that I truly tainted the relationship between my neighbor and I. She did not mean to leave the gate open. She didn't want my scooter to get stolen. Nothing was coming from a vindictive or mischievous place. She never did anything on purpose. It was all an accident. And ultimately, I took it very, very hard. It took me almost a week to get over it, and it really started to lower my vibration on a very, very rapid level. I felt like I was already vibing at a very low level because of the job that I started to do again. But because of this whole situation, my vibration just totally fell to the ground. I was depressed, I was upset. I couldn't even think about bettering myself because I was just wallowing in my self-pity. And I don't know what happened that made me have this realization that I need to start speaking to her. I think it was a conversation that I had with my boyfriend when we were out one day with Diego. We were taking him to somewhere along the beach, and he kind of put a few things into perspective for me, and I was able to see things from a different viewpoint. And I realized immediately that I needed to talk to her and repair this relationship, because if you have neighbors, you know that it's not pleasant to live next to somebody that you don't like, that you have bad vibes with, and it's just overall not good for anyone. So I sat down with her and I spoke to her about the situation that I was coming from, and the reason that I got so upset was, mainly the financial situation. It had nothing to do with the physical scooter itself. It just had everything to do with the financial aspect of it. So she said something to me that really resonated with me at that time, and she mentioned that she wasn't worried about money. And it didn't come from a place of, oh, I don't need money. It came from a place of, I truly know that the universe has my back, and I'm not worried that I don't have money. I'm okay, and I know that the universe is there for me. She didn't say those words specifically, but that was exactly what I took from it. And that was exactly what I needed to hear at that time, because that was the spark of me realizing that I needed to change my financial situation. So not just my financial situation, my outlook on my financial situation, I consider this my first sign from the universe. My scooter being stolen, me reacting in such an outrageous way, and my neighbor kind of putting things into perspective for me. And might I add that she was very, very forgiving. And people might think, well, you should be forgiving her. Ultimately, she needed to forgive me for the way that I acted towards her, and I needed to take responsibility for my actions. So after taking responsibility and realizing that there were some things that I really needed to work on and change, I knew that I was in the right direction, but I didn't really know where I was going. A week later, I walked into work and they threatened to demote me and take me down to a lower level in the company, and even threatened to fire me if I didn't want to be demoted. And I felt like I needed to fight for my job and make my voice heard, and why that I'm a valuable asset to them. And I did just that, and they decided that they wanted to keep me in my position. But after that moment, I realized that was my second sign from the universe. I am fully disposable at that company, and ultimately it was never something that I wanted to do again. And for me to fight for something that I don't want just made no sense to me. Logically, I just felt like, how could I be fighting for this job? I don't even want this job. And I'm feeling like I'm putting so much out there for something not being returned to me in the same way. I quickly realized that I was doing a job that I hated, and in doing so, I needed to quit. I knew that I needed to quit, but I wasn't going to allow myself to quit just yet because I was so worried about money. So I had this week of me just so worried and anxious, and just not vibing at all with work or with what I was doing with my life. And I decided July 6, 2020 that I was going to quit for good. I realized that it didn't matter. The money didn't matter at that point. I just needed to change my surroundings. And I knew that this job wasn't allowing me to reach my highest potential and do what I was put on this earth to do, which is help people. And this job wasn't that. I felt a bit sad and I felt a bit defeated. But something that didn't sit right with me was why I was so influenced by other people's opinions. So I was so influenced by my boyfriend's mother's opinion that it made me start a job that I absolutely hated. And I just couldn't understand why I was so influenced, but ultimately it was my ego. And I'll tell you, honestly, when you're operating from a place of ego, in a place of lack and fear, you're going to do things that aren't aligned with your higher self. So I needed to realize that I needed to operate within my higher self and not from a place of lack, fear, and ego. I was really so scared that his parents would judge me for not having a proper job, and I thought that that would affect my relationship with my boyfriend, and I was just really so worried about it. But once I realized that the fear and lack and operating from my ego was not the way that I wanted to live my life, I easily transitioned into the mindset of self-help and self-growth, and I needed to go ahead and change the way that I was thinking. This is when I decided that I was going to continue my journey, my self-growth journey. It started slowly, okay? It didn't happen overnight. It started slowly in July. Most of July was me just being a little bit sad and depressed from me not doing what I wanted to do with my life and not aligning with my higher self. And I realized a few days after I quit that I came down with corona. And the only way that I actually realized is because my boyfriend got sick. He got tested, he was positive, I got tested, and I was positive. And when I look back on the way that my mentality was and the way that I felt during that time, I think that my immune system was so compromised by the stress that I was putting on myself that it gave my body an opportunity to contract the disease. And I immediately was super upset over it. And I wasn't upset for the fact that I got corona. I was worried about if I'd given it to my boyfriend's grandparents, because I felt like, I didn't want to be responsible for that. But I quickly realized that I didn't need to worry about other people. I just needed to focus on growing myself. You can look for my Instagram posts and my Instagram captions. I started to use this as a journal and something that will help me track my journey. So you can see in July, after I posted about corona, I started to slowly work on myself and work on bettering myself. Now, you could see that I was trying to change my mindset, but I was still struggling. I still had a lot of work to do. And it was something that I didn't know how I would do it, but the universe knew. And I had to have had trust, because I was directed in the exact way that I needed to be. After almost a month of me kind of wallowing in my self-pity and figuring out I was basically depressed over, not clinically depressed, but depressed emotionally over the way that I had handled myself over the last month. And I was in a position where I didn't even want to consume materials that would help me grow as a person. I was unfollowing people that I felt were too motivational for me at that time. And even my best friend is a high performance coach. Her name is Rebecca Kiger. She posts every day motivational things on her Instagram stories. And I found myself skipping through all of her stories, not because I don't love her and I don't want to support her, but because they hit too close to home for me and I wasn't ready for them. So I wasn't ready to hear her message. But it was at the middle of August, I saw she had made a post talking about self-growth and performing at your highest level. And she mentioned that she would be giving away a free phone call with her to kind of evaluate things and kind of decide a game plan for how you want to grow your life. And I was so ready. I felt such a pull to message her and tell her, this is it, I'm ready to go ahead and do this. And I told her I want to go ahead and I want to schedule a phone call. And she said, of course, no problem, here's my link, let's schedule, let me know whenever you're ready. And that was around August 17th. I didn't actually schedule the phone call until almost a week later, because I was still apprehensive. I was still kind of putting it off. And I would have said at that time I was busy, I had other things going on, but ultimately I was just putting things off because I wasn't ready to face the work that I needed to do on myself. But I finally made the jump and I scheduled a phone call with her, and it was, for me, truly the most impactful time that I have ever had, because she opened my eyes to a whole new world, and she made things come to light that I didn't even realize that I needed to work on. And one main thing that she had taught me is that I need to repair the relationship with myself. And I didn't think that I was in a bad relationship with myself. I thought that I really valued myself. But whenever I took a look objectively and I took a step back and I said, okay, how do I feel when I'm doing this? Or how do I put myself first? And I realized that I don't. And I did need to repair that relationship with myself on a whole deeper level. So she gave me so many tips and tricks on how to improve my relationship with myself. The one main thing that really just kind of set apart from everything else was writing a letter to myself every single day about how I appreciate myself and how much I love myself and all the positive things that I'm doing for myself. So that was probably single-handedly the most effective thing in changing my viewpoint of myself, which in turn changed all of the other things that I needed to work on. So it made it much easier after I was in such a loving relationship with myself to work on things outside of myself. That was, for me, one of the biggest takeaways that I had. And if you guys are interested and you want to speak to Rebecca on the phone and maybe have a phone call with her, a consultation, a free consultation, I will definitely go ahead and recommend you. So go ahead and leave your information down below, or you can find me on Instagram and you can DM me. I will go ahead and put it in the details below. So you might be wondering, how does this pertain to RBA? And how did I find RBA? And how did I find Manifestation Babe and Catherine and all these amazing things that are changing my life right now? And it was through my best friend, Becky. She mentioned that she was working with Catherine one-on-one, and she said, do you know about Manifestation Babe? And I said, no, who is this girl? So she told me she's super inspirational and I should check her page out. So I went to her page and I saw she was on live. So I jumped on her live, and she was chatting about how she has a 3-day workshop that's going to be available for changing your money mindset. And I know that that's something that I need to work on, and I was so ready to start making those changes, but it wasn't enough. I wasn't ready enough. I don't know what was stopping me, but I decided I'm going to sign up for her 3-day workshop, but I didn't actually attend it. And I got all the emails and I was so eager to attend, but there was still a block there. There was still something that just wasn't sitting right with me. And it wasn't Catherine. It was something inside of me. So I kind of started watching her lives after she had posted them because the times didn't really correspond with me. So I saw that she had posted her lives on her page, and I started to watch them, and I got a little bit distracted and I never went back. I never actually went back to the workshop and did the workshop. I was still following her on Instagram, and I saw that she had posted something about RBA, and I had no clue what RBA was. Nobody told me. My best friend didn't mention it to me. I just stumbled upon it. And she was talking about Rich Babe Academy and money mindset and how to change your money mindset. And I thought, wow, this is like calling my name. I feel so compelled to do this. And there wasn't any other thing that was compelling me. I just truly felt this push, this energetic pull from the universe that was saying, you need to do this. And mind you, I had been following Catherine for maybe 2 weeks at that point maximum. And I really resonated with her as a person, and I really felt her genuinity through the Instagram page, but I didn't actually know anything about RBA. So I saw that she mentioned something about it, and then I saw that she was on live with her husband, I believe at the time, and they were discussing RBA. And they mentioned that this will be the last round of RBA, and the last round where it's fully focused on money mindset, because the next upgrade that she's doing, it's not just focusing specifically on money mindset, it's a little bit broader. And I just felt like this is exactly what I need in my life to up level the work that I'm doing and how I'm living my life on a daily basis. And there were so many tips and tricks just from her lives that I took and started to implement right away. I felt such a shift in the energy between me and money, because ultimately she has taught me that money is just energy. It's just an energetic force that is constantly flowing to me. So I immediately adopted these principles and felt so changed already by it that I knew that RBA was for me. So I saw that she was sending out emails that RBA would be starting soon, and I was just like, am I going to do it? I don't even know how much money it is. I had no clue how much she was charging for this. I knew it would be a couple $1,000s at least, but I had absolutely no clue how much it would actually be. So I went through actually the page of the website where you check out, and I wanted to see how much it would be, because she doesn't mention, oh, this is how much it's going to be in the email. So I went through the whole checkout process, and I realized that it would be $1,998, I believe. And I said to myself, I have to do this. I have the money. Although I don't ever want to spend my money, I have the money, and I know that I need to put this money out into the universe because I know it's going to come back to me, and I need to trust that. So I called my boyfriend and I said, listen, I know this sounds crazy, but I just made a decision to do a program that is going to be a money mindset program, and I need your credit card. And he's kind of like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And I said to him, listen, I need to sign up for a paid in full option because I need to get the bonus that her husband is providing, and I need to get the RBA mug. So I need to pay in full, and I will give you cash. Just give me your credit card. I need to use it now. It's like the countdown is on. I need to do this. So he's like, okay, fine. Like, when I get home, you can do it. So he got home, he gave me his credit card, and I signed up immediately. And long story short, my boyfriend's credit card was canceled because they were like, what is this random charge for Manifestation Babe on your credit card in the United States for almost $2,000? They canceled his credit card because they thought it was so unlike him to make this charge, which it is. And that was just a very, very ironic thing that happened from the sign up. I think that's kind of where my story doesn't end, but my story can be continued, if you will, because right now I am currently in the first week of the program. The program started technically Saturday, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it is Tuesday, so I'm on day 4. I'm right in the middle of the week, and I already have done my first module and my first regression hypnosis, which I truly believe changed so much about my mentality and the way that I look at money, the way that I look at life, and it was so incredibly helpful. So thank you so much, Catherine, for everything that you have put out there for me, for everyone, to make the world a better place, because at the end of the day, I know that's what you really want. And I couldn't agree with your famous phrase more: when good babes get money, everyone benefits. Is that what she says? Something like that. Don't quote me. I'm not quoting Catherine, but I'm paraphrasing her. So yeah, I found so many amazing people from starting RBA, so many like-minded people. Over 900, I think, people are in the group right now, and it has been truly transformative. I am so excited for this journey, and I am so excited to take you guys along with me. I'm going to be doing a little bit of vlog style, so I'm going to kind of show you guys my progression over the next six weeks. And I'm not really sure if I'll break it up week by week or, put it all together in one video. I don't know how long it's going to be yet, so just keep a lookout for that. And I'm going to just be focusing more on manifestation videos, law of attraction videos, positive mindset videos, and how to change your mindset. So I am so excited for this new journey on YouTube and for hopefully every single person who sees this and resonates with this. I really hope that this is exactly what you needed at the time that you needed it. I trust that the universe is giving you that, and thank you. So until next time, bye.